Good morning, Lead Bullets for Life here on this beautiful Friday, actually. Guys, I want to talk a little bit about the shoot I had yesterday with the Uberti 1858 in 44 caliber. In spite of the bad weather conditions yesterday, I still managed to put out a video, to the point, not too long. Got some good shooting footage, and just want to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. So guys, getting primers, I'm sorry, not primers, but caps is practically impossible here in California, let alone the primers. So I had to resort to, old-fashioned ingenuity here. So these are the toy caps you see at Dollar Tree stores or Dollar General or Walmart. The thing about these guys, they do work, but they're not perfect. Now I'll explain to you why. The plastic construction on these things tear really easily. They're not really fit properly to the number 10 nipple. You also have the priming mixture inside, which is not strong enough to send a flame down to the nipple to the main charge. I had to put a little bit of about 3 grams of 777 in there, and then carefully place the cap onto the nipple. And then, guys, I had to fire one at a time. I couldn't fire all 6 because as soon as I did that, they would all fell off. So there was no point in that. Besides that, half them, they cracked when I put them inside the nipple itself. So they don't fit properly. Guys, I'm going to talk a little bit about the caps themselves. Remington makes about the best caps there are. Okay, unfortunately, because of the bankruptcy with Remington and all, it's really hard to get caps from Remington, and for these reproduction pistols, number 10s are usually what they fit. Getting number 10 caps from Remington is impossible. Now, go to CCI, you can get your number 10 caps, but here's the problem. Well, CCI didn't remanufacture their, or reset up their number 10 machines to accommodate the larger, now different nipples on the Italian revolvers. So you're going to get them too small. And if you get the number 11s, they're going to be a little too big, So if you can get the Remingtons, you're better off. So again, even if I could get the CCIs, I still probably had trouble loading them onto the nipple themselves. So now these little caps here are very dirty, guys. So after about 3 or 4 firings, you're going to have to clean out the nipples. And that's what I experienced yesterday too. I had a few duds. Well, the caps went off, but the charge didn't go off, and that's because the nipples were clogged up already. So I had to go and not poke a hole through it, but I had to actually remove the nipple. And the reason why is because part of the paper that was in the cap itself was lodged inside of the nipple. And so therefore, if I even put a fresh cap in there, the flame wouldn't have got down to the main channel. Anyway, guys, I want to do a shout out to Mr. CW Longshot, and we all heard about his plight with the YouTube, and we welcome him back to the channel, and it's good to see him here doing his thing again, like he normally does. And now, like a lot of the rest of us who were in the YouTube timeout corner, we've learned to, well, I can't say the word modify because it's a YouTube buzzword, but change my criteria for the channel, or at least change how I demonstrate certain demonstrations without demonstrating, of course, if that makes any sense at all. Okay, so guys, so you're gonna have to use your imagination when I talk about what I've been doing, instead of showing you how I actually do it. I can probably verbally tell you without being too graphic, and I think for most of you or most of us who are in the gun world and reloading world and gunsmithing world, we'll kind of know how to read between the lines and what we're saying. Guys, I've got a lot of comments from you guys, so keep them coming, and I'm gonna try to get some more of these black powder videos out for you. I have another video I'm gonna show you. It's gonna be basically about the 20 grain charge. Now the 22 grain charge was actually pretty good. It was actually accurate, but it was in the under 1100 feet per second range. Seems kind of fast for 44 cap and ball, but you know, no signs of pressure or anything. Just that the cast ball actually fit down the barrel a little bit tighter, or cylinder a little bit tighter. Therefore, was given that double FG powder a little bit more time to burn and increase pressure. And guys, I was getting pretty consistent grooves for a while. I had one that went down to maybe like 997, but the rest of them were in the 1,000 feet per second. So they did quite well. All right, guys. So as far as lubrication goes, something that I did, and to lubricate and to wad at the same time. So basically, I just took, you know, my old lube from homemade lube, and I just basically got a little tool here that fits a .45 caliber chamber properly. So what it is, I just, you know, quickly cut out the lube, and then what you have is a lubed wad. And you just put it down in front of your cylinder. You kind of mash it down a little bit to spread it out so it'll fit the cylinder without falling out. Now, during my slow motion firing, I actually saw one of these come out of the chamber and fall in front of me. And so what happened was I didn't push it down tight enough on it. But yeah, so this is what they look like. You know, you take any kind of a little tool here that'll fit a .45 caliber chamber, and if the wads don't fit tight enough, you just push it down and it spreads them out a little bit. So this is what I've been using, and it eliminates the use for a wad. And second of all, too, if you're using black powder substitutes, you don't really have to compress too hard on the charge. Matter of fact, black powder substitutes not prefer to be compressed. You know, you just pretty much put the ball on top of the charge itself without pushing down too hard on it. And it's all about trial and error, and a lot of it's about eyeballing the charge itself. So, you know, of course, with the modern black powder substitutes, you're going to get much higher pressures with a lower charge anyways. So if you're using 30 grains of GoX, so to speak, right, you're basically going to have to bring that down to about maybe a 20, 21, 22 grains and to get the same velocity. But I found the black powder substitutes really have a little bit more consistency to them. And they don't burn as smoky as the black powder. And I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but you know, the whole point of having a black powder handgun or rifle is to see the smoke come out. You know, but unfortunately, you know, GoX and black powders, things like that, are not really allowed here in California. I believe there's a fire safety hazard problem with it. I guess you know, the state legislation has issues about it. You know, shooting black powder in the field can cause sparks and to set off brush. In California, it's pretty dry certain times of the year, but most states are, you know, especially in the summertime. But anyways, it is what it is. So you know, I'm happy with Hudson's 777, and it works just fine. All right, guys. So I have this old, it's a pretty beat up pistol case, and it fits my Uberti perfectly. And so, let's go ahead and jig it up for you here. So basically, I put my nipple wrench ratchet right here. These are the homemade one I made with a 5mm socket. And guys, this super lube works really good. It was like $8 over at Harbor Freight, and it works just fine. I was able to remove the nipples off the revolver without any hassle. And guys, this powder measure, I've had people tell me on the channel that after a few days these things go bad on you. They start to tarnish and stuff. So basically what I did, I just took some mothers and polished it up before I used it, and it seemed like it's holding its color pretty good. No rust at all. Just kind of wipe it down a little bit, keep it in a dry place without any humidity, you know. Now this rifle nipple wrench, I kept, you know, because I'll probably end up getting a rifle anyways. But actually, it's a musket for the musket nipple. But anyways, I've been using the needle here to clear out the nipple, so it still serves its purpose. Anyways, guys, so this little bag actually holds quite a bit of tools, and I keep the revolver in a plastic bag to keep it from marring up from the tools itself. I should give myself a little toolbox, but I'm trying to reduce as much tools to bring to the range as much as possible. But guys, yesterday I used the my own 454 cast balls, and guys, it was just made from regular rain scrap lead. Now I was told that, oh, by the way, you know, the rain scrap lead, it's too tight, it's too hard to get down to the cylinders. Well, to be honest with you guys, rain scrap is not like it's not linotype, okay? It's not like 22, you know, on the Brindle hardness scale. It's like maybe 10 or 12 at the most, you know, 13 if you quench it. But I think mine's pretty much like a 10. So when I put the first few rounds in, I pushed it in, it shaved off the lead, and I'm like, okay, these are fine then. And guys, as you saw, the first shot was dead center. That's with the ball. The rest of them were just here and here, and a couple went here in the same hole. So anyways, guys, the lack of percussion caps didn't keep me from having fun yesterday. I still had a good time, but you know, the pace was a little bit slower than I'd like. Again, meticulous loading with these black powder revolvers is part of the joy of black powder shooting, and I enjoyed every step of it. You know, measuring the powder, placing that ball in there, putting that lubricated wad down there, that homemade one I made, and the percussion cap, you know, the homemade percussion cap. But anyways, guys, getting to the cleaning part of it, we cleaned the gun and of course took off the cylinder, removed the nipples, and I made a little kettle of hot water and some Dawn soap, and basically soaked the cylinder and the nipples in the hot soapy water. Now with the revolver, I poured some hot water down the barrel, and then used the board brush to kind of scrub it out, and then ran it through with a dry patch, wiped down the internals, you know, without putting any water or soap inside the trigger mechanism itself, because you don't want that. You're gonna have to remove the whole trigger assembly to get to those parts there, especially the springs and all. So it came out quite clean. Getting them to dry with hot water was easier, and then once you get them all dried and wiped down again, go ahead and take your grease and just sort of lubricate your threads and replace your nipples back in again. From there, go ahead and replace your grease on your cylinder pin and your ramrod. So that will help you keep and maintain your revolver in tip-top shape for the next time you go shooting. Speaking of which, that's Bullets for Life here. Thanks for joining me today. If you like what you see and want to see more, please rate and subscribe, make those comments. I'll be at the gun range or here at the reloading bench. We'll talk to you soon. Bye for now.